Good morning, Miss Tana. Before we start, we would like to introduce ourselves first. So, my name is Mohd Ezzwan and my partner
is Ahmad Hafez.
We are English communication students from College Professional Mara Sri Iskandar, and we are conducting this interview as part of our assignment. First, we would like to thank you for taking the time to be here with us. So, let's get started.
Okay.
Could you please introduce yourself and share a bit about your background?
Okay. My name is Dhanarubini Murthy. I'm actually a teacher at SMK Raja Muda Musa, Kuala Kangsar. To be more specific, I'm teaching English language. Maybe I think for about 6 years. Previously, I have worked in a private school for about 5 years and just recently appointed at SMK Raja Muda Musa, I think about 1 year plus.
Mm-hmm. So, that's all about yourself, right, Miss Tana?
Do you want me to share my educational background?
Sure.
Okay. I have completed my bachelor's in TESOL at Management and Science University, MSU, Shah Alam, and just recently completed my master's in TESOL at University Pendidikan Sultan Idris UPSI.
Okay, that's the thing. Thank you, Miss. So I think we can jump to our first question. To
Sure.
start,
Mm-hmm.
have you ever had misunderstanding in a conversation because of using slang?
Yes,
Mhm.
because slang is tricky. It's
Mhm.
really tricky, and you have to be really specific, or you have to be really careful. Especially, you have to watch out your audience. Okay, you have to know your audience. You have to know the group that you are talking to. Okay, for example, for me, I have faced a problem when I'm talking to a specific group because slang is depends on the group. What I mean by group is their age,
Mhm.
their profession, their hobbies, because we have certain words to be used. Like, for example, in working, we have certain terms, right?
Mhm.
Like engineers, they have their own terms, teachers, they have
Mhm.
their own terms, doctors, they have their own terms. So when you are accidentally used a wrong word, they might understand it differently.
Mhm.
And slang is also regional. When you use a word in a particular place, you should really be careful because it will be totally different in another situation or in another region.
I see, I see. So, following that, have you ever used slang or humor when talking to people from different backgrounds?
Yes, actually, I have a cousin who's working in Australia. So when she come back to Malaysia, so we used to have a conversation. So the slang that I have used with her is like is when we want to say thank you to each other. Usually, I will say the word cheers, and
Cheers.
and when let's say I want to ask her what how she's doing, I will say what's up, like that. So it's like showing that um, like people in Australia somehow they will use this kind of slangs when they're having conversations with their friends or family members.
Okay. Now, based on your experience, Miss, what do you think can be done to avoid misunderstanding because of slang?
Okay, the first thing first is, as I said before, you have to be careful, you have to be mindful to your audience. Okay, because when you are talking to them, you have to really consider them. What group, what age group they are, what profession are they in, and you should not overdo it. When you overdo it, they might be having a misunderstanding with your communication or whatever that you want to convey to them.
Mhm. That's a good way to avoid misunderstanding.
Yes.
So, moving on, how many language do you speak, and how has that affected how you communicate with people from different cultures?
Okay, I speak three languages. My mother tongue is Tamil, Bahasa Melayu, and also English language. So I speak three languages. For me, because as I told you before,
Mhm.
I have worked in a private school, right? Okay, so in that private school, majority of them are Chinese students. So they don't really understand Malay, and they also don't understand English because they
Mhm.
are quite weak. So whenever I'm trying to explain to them, it's really difficult for me because I couldn't use both the languages that we Malaysians usually use, right, in our daily
Mhm.
communication. I cannot talk to them in Tamil, right? They
Mhm.
totally don't understand that. So um, I have used a lot of techniques. So one of the techniques is just gestures. So
Only
they,
gestures.
yeah, only
Mhm.
gestures. If you don't mind, I want to share one experience of mine.
Sure,
I
sure.
have a student. He totally don't understand English and Malay. He totally don't understand. He just know I, you, and the basic words only. Um, at the beginning, when I first joined the school, he was in year seven. Year seven means Form 1. Okay, year seven because it's an international school. So year seven means Form 1 here. He really don't know how to talk. If he want to ask anything to me, because I'm the class teacher, so if he want to ask anything to me, he will bring a friend with him, and then he will use all the gestures. He will try to make me to understand, and the friend will help him. And when the time I leave the school, he able to speak a very good English. So for me, the only way that I communicate with him is by using the gestures.
Mhm.
So I feel like gestures really help. Sometimes language couldn't do that.
Mhm.
Did I answer your question just now?
Yes, yes.
Yes,
Okay.
right. Okay.
So, for
So,
next question, I will pass to Hafez.
next
Okay.
question. As
Mhm.
a teacher, what local gesture do you use when interacting with students?
Local gestures.
Your
Okay. So
culture
like
gesture.
the first thing is I will smile to them. Okay, smiling is really a positive gesture because when you smile, the students feel confidence to talk to you. They feel approachable.
Oh,
Okay, they will approach to you and they will ask you whatever they want. And the second thing is nodding. I nod my
nodding.
head a lot, you know, right? Indians will do that most of the time. Okay, I nod my head because for example, when they are having speaking, SPM speaking, okay, so the students really scared. They are really like have no confidence at all, even though they can speak a very good English. So whenever they are talking, even though sometimes their points will go wrong, I just nod my head, I smile to them. So it boosts the confidence to them whenever they are, you know, having the exams, and whenever they are talking to them, uh, whenever they are talking to me, so they feel confident.
Oh,
So my gestures are smiling and nodding.
okay. So, uh, on the same note, are there any gesture that student or co-workers didn't understand or found confusing? Gesture that.
I think no. So far, so good. They're not having any problem because I think it's a very common one, right? Smiling and nodding.
Oh, okay. Okay. Next question. Um, how do cultural difference, like those between Malay and Indian culture, affect how you communicate with people in your daily life.
Okay, so the first thing is language variation. Okay, where sometimes if you the way I recognized, sometimes Malays and Indians uh, in Malaysia they are having the same how to say the same culture sometimes.
Same
Like
culture.
for example, um,
Food.
the common one, okay, food, and then tradition. Like for example, wearing, applying henna in their hand,
Alright.
henna, mehendi.
Could you please repeat that, miss?
Applying henna.
Hannah.
Yes. Inai, inai.
Oh, Ina.
Oh, oh.
Oh.
Okay, so
Okay.
Indians do that before they're getting married or going for
Mm-hmm.
any occasions, right? Okay, so we are sharing the same culture. Okay, that is one of the simple example. And then like there are also uh, how to say like we use the same way to respect each other. We have the respect, and we have also a lot of cultural influences between these two communities. So like the level of formality when they are talking to someone, the use of the proverbs, idioms, and even the voice tone, okay, sometimes will be the same for these two
Mm-hmm.
cultures.
Interesting how culture shapes communication styles.
Yes.
Yeah, yes.
Okay. For continue, can you also share a situation where culture differences cause a communication problem at work, and how do you handle it?
Okay, for me, like as I told you before, in my private school, we fully use English. There is no Malay because I'm teaching English as well. So there is no chance for me to speak in Malay with my students. So when I'm here at Kuala Kangsar, where I'm started to mingle with my Malay colleagues. So I had a problem, even though my primary school, I studied at SK school. I'm not from SM, sorry, SJKT.
Mm.
I'm from SK school. So for me, like I have a very big gap because I have worked 5 years in the private school. So I have a very big gap where I don't really communicate in Malay language, even though my Malay was very good before my working period. So I feel like it's a very gap there. It's a very huge gap there. So sometimes when I'm at my school, current school, I don't really get certain words. Like
Mm-hmm.
the main thing is the slang, some of the idioms. Sorry, some of the idioms, proverbs. I don't really get it. So what I will ask them to do is I ask them to repeat or I ask them to explain what is the meaning of the slang, of the word, or the idioms. It's not like I don't understand, but I'm just afraid that I might misunderstand whatever that they're
Mm-hmm.
trying to convey.
So that's how you handle it.
Yeah, I ask them for the meaning.
Mm-hmm.
We are learning, right? So just ask them.
Okay. So finally, Miss, what are the ways people in your culture typically use to resolve conflicts?
Okay, as I noticed,
Mm-hmm.
they trying to clarify. They're trying to clarify. They're trying to explain their situation. If they are the cause of the problem, they're trying to explain the situation, trying to clarify. For me, like it's a very general thing that happen in most of the culture, where when we are in a problem, we're trying to clarify that, right? We try to not talk about ourselves, but just trying to explain our situation, what we are going through. So for me, like that is what I have noticed.
Mm-hmm. Okay, next. And how do these conflict resolution methods work in a workplace, especially when colleague or managers disagree?
Okay, if they are disagree,
Mhm.
maybe it will reduce the rapport or the relationship between the manager and also the person who involved. They might have this feeling of misunderstanding between them, and this will limit their growth in their career as well as their profession. And sometimes when this particular individual, when they get ignored, they will not able to give their how to say, their ideas, their opinions in a general situation or in a meeting or anything. People will not consider that because he already have a bad remark,
Mm,
so will not consider that even though the points or the ideas is relevant, so they will not consider. So this like will lead to limited growth for the company as well as for the individual.
I can see that will make a big difference in maintaining harmony in the workplace.
Yes,
Mhm.
that's true.
So I think that's all for our question and for our interview, Miss Tana. Thank you for your time and for sharing your experience with us. Your insight have really helped us understand more about language and cultural communication. We appreciate it and we hope you have a great day, Miss Tana. Thank
Okay,
you,
thank you
Miss.
so much for having me. I hope whatever I have responded in this
Mhm.
interview will help you guys. All the best.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.